Alright, my presentation today is going to be on OSHA 1910.178, which deals with powered industrial trucks, and this deals with the construction industry, general industry, as well as some maritime industry as well for all forklifts. The objective of this presentation is going to be to give the class an idea or a technical presentation about some of the specifics from the 1910.178. I'm going to go over different types of forklifts. There are 7 classes of forklifts, the power sources of the forklifts, and then what to do and not to do around the forklifts. Why do we care? Because we're in the safety industry and injuries matter to us. Basically, there is an estimated power industrial truck accident about every 15 minutes that comes out to 100 fatalities or 36,000 injuries annually. Power industrial trucks, they are any forklifts or powered truck that is used to carry, push, pull, lift, stack, or tier materials. Normally used in manufacturing settings, but sometimes used outside as well. You'll see when I go over the different classes of vehicles. Here you see the Class 1. Class 1 deals with electric motor rider trucks, so it's something that you sit in or stand on. The first one is a counterbalanced, so you stand on one side when you use it, and the load goes on the other side. The second one is a sit-down with a third wheel underneath. And it's important to note that even in the Class 2, these wheels are solid wheels. They're not pneumatic. And the Class 2 are mainly used in narrow aisles. And this is mainly to retrieve pallets within a manufacturing setting or a warehouse, something of that nature. As you see, there's many different kinds. Class 3 and 4. Class 3 is the electric hand motor, and the Class 4 is internal combustion engine with the solid or a solid tire with some cushioning on it. No pneumatic tires there yet. Class 5 will be the internal combustion engine trucks with pneumatic tires. So these are gasoline or diesel powered with pneumatic tires. And then Class 6 is going to be electrical or combustion engine, but these are going to be the retractable, like tractors. And the difference between Class 6 and the next one, which is Class 7, is the fact that these are rough terrain, so these have much bigger tires. And what I'm showing here is the two variables of them, which is the vertical mass to reach high places, and then variable reach to drop a load somewhere where it's hard to reach. The power sources are mainly internal combustion, which is gasoline, diesel, or liquefied petroleum gas, which we refer to as LPG, or electric. They use a battery system, and then there are some hazards associated with those batteries, such as maintenance of sulfuric acid and hydrogen gas leaks. Some potential hazards with the petrol and diesel ones is going to be exposure to engine exhaust containing carbon monoxide, and obviously with the LPG you have to be careful because it's heavier than air, so it lies in low-lying areas, and it's extremely flammable. Recommended practices around, we're talking about the internal combustion engine ones, is do not operate in a poorly ventilated area. You should check all fuel levels, and the key thing is to check the exhaust color for incomplete combustion. So if you see black exhaust, you know that something's going on, so you can check that. And then recommended practices for LPG. Basically, you have to be trained in order to, it may be fine when you're operating it, but LPG, you have to be trained in order to take it off the forklift and put it back on, and only authorized personnel should be touching those LPG containers. Fueling procedure with the petrol and diesel, it seems pretty simple. We fill gas in our car every day, but put the car into neutral, lower the forklift, engage the parking brake, shut the engine off completely, and then that's when you can open it up and fill the tank. And then after you fill the tank, you have to wipe it off completely because of any leakage. Potential hazards with the batteries is going to be the sulfuric acid, and then hydrogen fumes. And then another major thing is touching the circuits, because if it's short circuits, it can burn human skin. Operations in general, all operators have to be above 18 years old, and they have to be trained properly, and OSHA has much more detail about what training and how much training that person needs. Another important thing is to not stand under any sort of loads, and basically to use common sense and always make sure that you can't leave the forklift unattended, and don't use the forklift to open and shut freight doors. You always have to be very careful when handling these machines. So what can you do to handle a forklift properly? Right of way is important. If it's a two-way, then you have to stay to the right, and then always blow horns at intersections where the view is obstructed. And this is a major thing at all manufacturing plants. You have to do this. Another tip is to tilt the the mast. And to drive as low as possible without touching the ground. So it is tilted back, uses the least amount of space, and you want to drive with a few inches between the ground and the forklift. And obviously loading, these are just some funny pictures so that you guys can enjoy that, but you have to be safe in terms of loading. And if a forklift is rated for a certain capacity, don't try to exceed that capacity. And there's only so much the forklift can do, and it's a machine, and you are not.